FBI acting boss Andrew McCabe stands by Russia probe. The FBI investigation into alleged links between Russia and the Donald Trump election team will carry on unimpeded by the sacking of its head, James Comey, his successor has said. The firing has sparked a storm of criticism, but Acting Director Andrew McCabe told a Senate committee it had not affected the work of the FBI. And he vowed to speak up if there are any political interference in future. Critics accuse Mr. Trump of firing Mr. Comey for leading the Russia inquiry. There are reports the ex-FBI boss had asked for more resources to conduct the probe, and Democrats in the U.S. Senate have formally requested details from the Justice Department on any additional funding he requested. Some Democratic senators say they believe the reports to be true, although a Justice Department spokeswoman rejected them as totally false. Democrats have also called for a special prosecutor to take over the Russia investigation. But the White House maintains Mr. Comey was fired because his competence had come into question over the way he handled the case of Democratic Party election candidate Hillary Clinton's emails, and that he had lost the confidence of his staff. Mr. McCabe contradicted this by telling the Senate Intelligence Committee that Mr. Comey had the support of the rank and file. In other developments, in a farewell letter to staff, Mr. Comey said he would not spend time on the decision or the way it was executed. The president is very likely to visit the FBI headquarters in the next few days, says the White House. FBI staff speaking to Politico have contradicted White House statements that Mr. Comey had lost the faith of the agency. Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein was reportedly on the verge of resigning after the White House cast him as the prime catalyst for firing Mr. Comey, U.S. media reported. He detailed Mr. Comey's serious mistakes in a memo to President Trump, just prior to the firing. Mr. Rosenstein reportedly made his threat unless the White House conveyed that the decision began with the president, according to U.S. media. "I'm not aware of his threatening to resign," White House Deputy Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders said on ABC's program Good Morning America on Thursday. She maintained that Mr. Trump very much had been thinking about letting Mr. Comey go since 9 November. Rosenstein's way out, Anthony Zerker, BBC News Washington. Rod Rosenstein brought a reputation for even-handedness and probity with him to the job of Deputy Attorney General. 2 weeks later, that reputation is being put to the test. Such is life in the Trump White House, where every appointee and aide is just one tweet, event or press conference away from the maelstrom. On Tuesday night, as the administration press shop scrambled to explain the president's surprise decision to sack his FBI director, Trump supporters leaned hard on Mr. Rosenstein's credentials to paint the move as a nonpartisan decision based on Mr. Comey's overall job performance. The Deputy Attorney General reportedly balked at the characterization that he was the driving force behind Mr. Comey's dismissal, however. Mr. Rosenstein's threat to resign is different than actually packing bags, of course, and his fate at this point is still tethered firmly to the president he chose to serve. There is a way out, though. Due to Attorney General Jeff Sessions' recusal on the matter, it's Mr. Rosenstein's call whether to appoint a special counsel to head the Justice Department's Russia investigation. It may be the one card he can play to sidestep the growing frenzy that spins around him. President Trump defended his actions on Wednesday, saying Mr. Comey was fired because he was not doing a good job. Republicans and Democrats vowed the House and Senate Intelligence Committee's investigations into the Russia claims would continue. The Senate Intelligence Committee moved forward by issuing a rare subpoena for documents from Michael Flynn, Mr. Trump's former national security advisor, after he rejected its request to do so in April. Mr. Flynn, a retired Army lieutenant general, misled the White House about discussing U.S. sanctions against Russia with the country's envoy, Sergei Kislyak, before Donald Trump's inauguration in January. His links to Russia are being scrutinized by the FBI and the House and Senate Intelligence Committees, as part of wider investigations into claims Moscow sought to tip the election in favor of Mr. Trump, and into contacts between Russia and members of the president's campaign team. At the center of the storm, Rod Rosenstein, 52-year-old Harvard graduate confirmed by U.S. Senate as Deputy Attorney General on 25 April. Had strong bipartisan backing with 94-6 vote in his favor. Overseeing federal investigation of alleged Russian interference in November's elections, after Attorney General Jeff Sessions recused himself over meetings with Moscow's envoy in Washington. Appointed by President George W. Bush as U.S. Attorney in Maryland and kept on by President Barack Obama. Reputation as apolitical and professional. Wrote memo detailing serious mistakes by Mr. Comey, but did not expressly call for his removal. Threatened to resign after White House cast him as the prime mover in the firing, according to an anonymous source quoted by the Washington Post.